And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
Well, hello to everyone. We are back. It is the Punk, Josh Thompson, and me, John McCarthy, with the Weighing In podcast. We are coming to you live from San Jose and Tennessee after we spent our week in Arizona doing our thing at the Sun Devil Wrestling. That was really cool being there for Arizona State. Awesome. They were going to take on Oregon State in a wrestling match. Great atmosphere, great people. Zeke Jones, thank you very much for everything. And how you doing, Bubba?
I'm doing good,
You finally made it home. You're feeling better? You got some rest?
Yeah. I played some indoor soccer last night and had some fun.
Did you get elbowed in the head again?
No, not last night, but I was tired because we only had one sub, and then I wasn't able to really sub in and out, so I stayed in the whole game, which is horrible when it's indoor. It's like playing hockey.
No, here, I'll teach you how to do something. Walk.
No. You don't have no time, man. But, I play in it's like a co-ed one, so you have to have 3 girls on the field, females.
Yeah, but those are the ones, they're fast. They keep moving.
Yeah, they never stop, man. They keep going. And then we have 3 males on the field along with the goalie, if the goalie's male or not. But, yeah, it's one of those things where it stays moving. It's like hockey. You just got to keep moving. Yeah. So it was good. I love it. It's like – I get the sprints in, the indoor, just, you make your runs. There's a lot of, camaraderie a little bit with the teammates, and developed a good team. And this team works real well together, so I enjoy it. It's fun.
Good.
We're not winning any Olympic gold medals or anything, but
I really thought you were.
No,
I thought this was going to be for big bucks.
Well, I just want to do something else besides train jiu-jitsu and wrestle and hit the bag. And it's like I've been doing that shit for so many years, and I
do that other stuff.
I played soccer my whole life.
Fish right off the dock. Yeah, it's great.
Hey, I wanted to bring up something, though, because you know what? I figured this out. I figured what we were talking about.
Hold it. Stop. You figured something out?
Yeah,
Are you shitting me?
I did on my own, actually. Well, actually, never mind. I take that back, because I did read the comments again, like you guys.
Oh.
No,
Just poke a stick in my eye.
It really made me think. Because it was kind of on my mind. I'm like, there's no way that it's just Jordan and Mike Tyson that are the most popular athletes, like the most recognizable athletes in the world. No way, absolutely not. You want to know what? John, we completely forget, because it's not that popular of a sport here, but the rest of the world, it's the number one sport in the world, is soccer.
I said Cristiano
Ronaldo, Neymar, and Messi.
I said Messi.
Those three right there, probably the most recognizable athletes in the world.
Oh, absolutely. They're way up there.
Yeah. I mean, we said Tyson and Jordan because we're very biased because we're from the States, but
no, that was because that was the conversation
between Ali and some of the other guys.
People were having, certain people were having, and that was there too. And I was like, it's close on.
Well, because Ali lives in Vegas, and he's around he's around Tyson. He knows Tyson and stuff, so that's why he says Tyson. I say Jordan only based on the fact that when I go back and watch the documentary on the Dream Team, like everyone talked about how like he couldn't go anywhere in Asia, anywhere in Europe. He couldn't go anywhere without everyone being all over him. Where John Stockton could walk down the street and no one even knew who he was. No one tried. Somebody even asked him, "Hey, can you take a picture of me and my family in front of this building?" Like that kind of thing. Didn't even know who he was, and so that's pretty cool. He got to go enjoy his trip while he was there, and Jordan wasn't able to really, or Barkley and everybody else. So, anyways. But I want to go back because there's this new documentary on Neymar out. I think it's on Netflix, but I just started watching it. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good little docu on it. And but it just lets you know how huge of a star he is all around the world. So you got him, Messi, and Ronaldo, all 3 of them. Insane. They're just way bigger stars than I would have, because we're from the States. We don't really put that into perception.
I don't know if I looked at it. In the end, I said, I think Jordan would be based upon China.
Yeah.
Basketball's huge in China.
Yeah.
And they got a whole lot of people there.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Anyways, I wanted to touch on that because I felt like we left them out, and then they deserve to be brought in. Anyways, all right.
We didn't leave them out. I said them last time.
We didn't really like strike it home, though. We just kind of glanced over it. Yeah.
Okay, you've got to do me a favor.
Not stop listening to you? Yeah, I got that.
Okay, you can do that too. You can do that too. But just like you stop drinking, I want you to stop reading the goddamn comments.
Oh, I love it, John. I'm addicted to it, man.
You are.
I am. It's fun. Whatever. It is what it is.
Okay.
All right. So let's get started right into the UFC. We're talking about this fight card. Not a very good fight card when you look at it on paper. When you start looking at name value, start looking at all those things. Not something that really pops off. Now the main event, obviously, I think makes for a very fun fight. Because Sean Strickland's one of those guys that I think there's a lot of hype around him right now. He's a dog. He fights aggressive. He's a junkyard dog. He's going to walk you down, take some shots, give shots. He's going to do all those things. I actually sent a video to our news feed in the text thread that we have that says news, just in case you got lost when I was having that conversation. I sent that and I said, he's sparring with Dominic Reyes. And they're sparring with little gloves, and they're going hard. And someone said, I can't believe they're sparring like this, the week before the fight. And I'm thinking to myself, it's crazy, man. Little gloves with someone who's, a 205 pounder and he's a 185 pounder, and this doesn't make sense. But from what I understand, he's not the brightest tool in the shed either. So, it's just whatever. I mean, it is what it is. I always look at things like this. Look, I've been in the gym with some guys that were really top prospects that we had coming up. They got knocked out real bad in training because they were going hard, because they like to go hard. And then we never saw those guys again. And we saw them, but they just came back and forth, never really made it to the big shows because after they got starched in training, they never really were able to get their wits back about them, and their chin was never the same.
Well, that could happen.
Yeah. I mean, you got to look at guys like, remember what was his name? He was a 55 pounder. He got a concussion when he fought Gray Maynard. He was supposed to fight for the title.
TJ
Grant. I always forget his name. I always say Grant something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
TJ Grant.
Him never came back. Gone.
No.
And I heard he was still, up until a couple of years ago when I heard last, he was still having issues.
I think he's doing well.
Okay. I hope he's doing well.
He's got a regular job, and he's got a family, and he just gave up the fighting world, and he was good.
Yeah, he was a dog.
TJ was good.
He was one of those.
He was
tough big
dude.
For the weight, John.
Well, see, and that was Sean Strickland. If you're looking at Sean as a fighter, all of his losses are at the welterweight division. He hasn't lost at middleweight.
Mm-hmm.
He's at middleweight now. He hasn't lost. And I do think that, look, he's always been tough, and he can take a punch, and he's that guy who will march down, and he will trade with you, allowing you to hit him so he has the opportunity to hit you. And at 185, he can accept a big shot, and he can keep coming after you. He's good. He's just that. He's a little bit bent in the head. Okay. He's a little bit crazy. He doesn't like the ground much. He can be on the ground, but, he wants to stand and trade. But if you look at who he's got losses to, I mean, his only losses are, I think he's been knocked out once, but that was at 170 pounds. And I know he's got a loss to Kamaru Usman. But other than that, man, you take a look at the show me the list of the names that he's beaten in middleweight here, because I know Uriah Hall and was it Brendan Allen.
So he lost
Uriah
to Usman.
Hall,
he lost to
Jocko, Jack Marshman. I'm thinking that I think the Nordine fight was at welterweight though. I may be wrong, but that might have been at welterweight.
Tell you if you want.
But I mean, look at the guy can fight, and Hermansson is fantastic on the ground. Pulls off a lot of great submissions. So this is going to be that. We got a guy that wants to strike and stand up. We got a guy that can strike, but he's going to want to get it to the ground. You watched when I thought Hermansson put on a great performance against Vettori.
Yeah.
Showed how tough he was in the stand up. A lot of things going on there. He'll stand with Sean. I just don't know if it's the right call for him to do. He should be looking towards taking this fight to the ground as much as he can, because I think he has a big advantage there.
Yeah, didn't he he subbed Gastelum, didn't he? An
Yes.
ankle lock? Was it ankle lock? I'm trying to remember.
I think it was a knee bar.
Knee bar. I think it was. Okay,
It was knee bar.
Yeah. Figured it had some. I remember it had something to do with the legs. But Jack Hermansson's tough. He's got decent wrestling. Not a great wrestler, but he's got some decent wrestling.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler.
And when he gets to fight to the ground, he will be able to control the position. He's got good transitions for the submissions. Now, how much do you know of Sean Strickland's grappling, though?
I know guys that have rolled with him and stuff like that, and he's one of those guys who goes, I don't like that. Now he'll do it, and he does train it, so it's not. But he doesn't want the fight to go to the ground. He's okay, taking the fight to the ground if he's in the top position and he can punch. He's the guy that wants. He's not going after any submissions. Dave, pull up Strickland's record. Does he have any submission victories since he's been in the UFC?
No, we just saw that.
Hey,
no.
So,
I was going to say, I doubt it.
Submission wins entirely, but let's see if he has anything in the UFC.
Any in the UFC, because early on in the career,
UFC is one against. Oh crap! Where did it go? He's won against Bubba McDaniel. So a rear naked choke.
He's got one against Bubba. Okay.
And otherwise, he doesn't have one in the UFC.
Other than that, nothing. Yeah. See, because he just doesn't go for it. He wants to punch a hole in your head.
He's got one in the King of the Cage, William Wheeler. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I mean, we're going to see. He's tough. He's going to probably try to work his way back up to his feet and try and and try and just press the pace, make Hermansson get into a slugfest or shoot crappy takedowns, which is going to put some more pressure on him to get the takedown. And the more pressure you put on someone, the more they tend to fold if they're not in phenomenal shape or not used to that type of pressure. So it should make for a fun fight. I mean, there's just so much going on with Sean Strickland, man. Just like you said, he's a little off the rocker. And everyone that I've seen that's trained with him, like he's either trying to be the guy that bullies you around, and when you do it back to him, he flips out. Remember when he got into who did he get into it with at the Ruka gym? He got into it with someone there.
Orlando. Yeah.
Orlando trying to Sanchez, and they started slugging it a little bit and just getting out of hand, and it's like, okay, what's going on?
Okay, but let's be honest. When you're training, and it's training, look, Orlando could have said, hey, man, don't put your arm like that. I'm going to crank down on that thing, or someone else is going to crank down on that thing like that. You don't want to do that. You don't do it. You don't crank on the arm because the guy this is his profession. What are you trying to do? You're trying to dislocate his elbow. You're trying to, crank it. Why?
John, but
I'm serious.
But here's the thing: did we see the rest of the video? Was Sean Strickland being a jerk before that? That's the thing. There's two sides to every story. Come on,
but it was just grappling.
I get it.
It was just grappling.
I understand. I don't know. They were throwing some heat. They looked like they were throwing some body shot stuff back and forth. I don't know if they were meaning to do that.
No, not in that one. They were just grappling. But it was. I mean, Sean threw a punch. At Orlando off of it. Mm-hmm. Threw a kick and a punch.
Yeah, so. He better be able to stop Orlando's takedowns, buddy.
Orlando, he can grapple.
Yeah, he can grapple with the fucking best of them, and he moves. Yeah. He can move. For a guy, guys built like that, he can move.
You got a guy that's built like a bowling ball, and he's got gas.
No, he's got gas, and he can move.
He will go.
Yeah, he can move.
Yeah.
I mean, anyways, this is going to be a good fight. It's really whoever can implement their game plan. If Hermansson can press a little bit, put Sean Strickland's back to the fence, get a takedown or two, control the top position, make Sean get up and fight. Fight a little bit more fatigued in terms of the grappling. I think he's got a better chance of, but he's got to get that takedown early. He gets that takedown early, I think that'll definitely change the outcome of how much pressure Sean Strickland puts walking him down. Because if you get a takedown early and he understands, like, if I put too much pressure, I'm going to be walking right into a takedown, end up on my back and being controlled again. So
well said.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. I'm glad I'm on point today. Woo. Got a little rest, got a little indoor soccer in last night. I'm feeling pumped and rejuvenated.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, shit, I quit drinking. I've just been sick the whole damn time. I'm like, I'm going back to alcohol to knock all this shit out.
Thank you. You're better when you're pickled.
Oh, I love it. All right, scroll down there, Dave, for us, please. Like I said, there's not a lot of name value on this card. What fights are you looking forward to?
I honestly think that, first off, let's talk. The main event, I think, is actually a really good fight.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a fun fight. It's interesting. Sam Alvey is in this, and he's fighting Brendan Allen now.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam Alvey's got like 6 losses in a row.
And a draw in there, too, so.
Okay. It's not good.
No.
And Brendan Allen ain't going to make it any better.
No, he's good.
I know he was supposed to be fighting, I believe he was supposed to be fighting Phil Hawes, and I think that was actually not a bad fight.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was a good
Sam.
fight.
I don't think Brendan Allen's a good fight for him, though.
I agree with you. I do.
And that's what it's like, you just got bumped up to a different level of fighter. I know that Brendan just is coming off of a loss.
To Chris Curtis.
Chris Curtis, yeah. Chris Curtis looking good, man.
Yeah, but that was a tough fight for Chris Curtis. He was in a little bit of trouble in that fight.
He was losing.
He was losing that fight, but he was making it a fight, and then he just came out and beautifully done.
Caught him.
Yeah, he caught him.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
But I feel bad for Sam. I mean, there comes a point, it ends for everyone. Obviously, Jeremy Stevens just got let go.
He's with PFL now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he signed.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Good for him. I'm happy for him.
But, I mean, it comes to an end for everyone, but I look at it this one. I was like, Sam might get a win against, Phil Hawes. That's a good possibility. I think I just lost that feeling.
Yeah.
I think this is a tougher opponent for him.
No, I agree. I think Brendan Allen's going to be able to walk him down. He's a little bit faster of a striker. He throws straighter punches. Yeah. Everything is straight down the pipe, and he mixes in the kicks as well. So it's going to be a little bit dangerous for him. I mean, we'll see, man. That's why we fight the fight, to find out if the underdog can come through.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
Well, when you like guys, when they're good people, and this is what they do and stuff. But I am excited to see Hakeem back.
Yeah.
From Canada.
Yeah, Dawodu,
man, he's good.
He is.
He's fun to watch. He's an exciting fighter, and he's fighting a good guy in Trezano.
Uh-huh.
That's a good matchup.
Yep.
That's at featherweight. That is a hot fight.
Dawodu is 12-2-1. He's 12-2. Just forget the 1. 12-2, and then Trezano is 9-1. And the two of them are gonna have. They're gonna have a good little scrap. They're gonna have a little battle. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a fun fight. Yeah. So I mean, when you're talking about sleeper fights, when we're looking through these fights, I mean that could be a good fight.
Yeah, well, it's for me. When I'm sitting there watching, I'm doing all kinds of things all at one time, and then I look for certain fights, and this is the one that I'll set everything down. Yeah, and just look at the TV because this one gets my attention.
John, you're funny because I never would have thought that. I always felt like you just sit down and like you watch from beginning to end. I'm the same way. Like I'll watch a fight when it really piques my interest. I'll sit down and watch it. The rest of the time when there's fights that don't really pique my interest, I'm doing something else. Like it's not, I'm whatever, goofing around with. I'm a woodworker too.
Kids,
I'm always doing my woodwork. Things.
Woodworker.
Obviously, what I mean.
I'm
working on my wood. I'm trying to pull my helmet off.
I'm sure you are. Just like that young lady who grabbed that thing. Oh, never mind.
Oh God, that was hilarious.
The pot belly.
We got to tell that story, John. You got to tell that story, John. Tell it. This is the great Dave. You got to hear this story.
We go. Phoenix, Arizona is a great place, right? And there is this awesome sandwich place. It's called the Pot Belly. And at the Pot Belly, they have 3 sizes of sandwiches. They have skinny,
regular
or original, and big. So, we go and we order our sandwiches, and Josh orders a regular, right? And I ordered the big, and no big deal. And so we go to the register, and there's a nice young lady there, and she talks to Josh and says, what size is it, right? Josh is not listening at all because he's doing his normal ADD.
There's also the plexiglass in front of her.
ADD is going in all these different directions, and he's looking around, and he's like, excuse me? Right? And instead of saying it, she just looks at him, reaches out, kind of grabs his sandwich, and does this with it. And Josh kind of looks at her, and she goes, oh, it's a regular, right? And he goes, well, give it time.
I said that was. I told her, I go, that's a little aggressive, don't you think? I was in shock.
I was just sitting there saying, wow, you guys are hitting this thing off quick, right? And then she realized, oh my God, I see what I just did. It was awesome.
For those of you guys listening on the audio platforms, she literally grabbed the tip of the tip of the Subway of the sandwich. She grabbed it. And she's like, oh yeah. She's like, oh, regular. I just looked at her like, that was a little aggressive. What's going on here? And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. And then
so then I had my sandwich, and I kind of like stuck it out. Of course, I go, I got the big.
I got the large. And I started laughing because it took her a second. And then even when I was on pain, she's like, and I just kept smiling at her like, oh my God, I can't believe you did that. And she's like, oh, we're not over this yet. And I was like, would you be? She's like, I'm still there. I get it. It was kind of embarrassing, but it was funny.
It was funny.
It was hilarious.
Good moment.
All right. Well, Chidi Chickawani, he's fighting also too. He's back in.
Yeah, first time in the UFC for Chidi. He's been fighting for a long time. He's fought all over. Fought in Bellator, everything. He's got a tough dude he's fighting against. Barrio is tough, good fighter. I love Chidi, and his stand-up is really good. His ground has gotten a lot better. But Marc-Andre, that dude is a tough sumbitch. He's just going to keep coming forward. Now, Chidi can win this fight because he can definitely strike, and he's got power on his shots. He's beaten some good guys. Look at that. Well, we just had Andre Fiallo, who was, put on a great performance against Mikel Pereira. You saw that fight. Well, Chidi knocked. How fast did he knock Fiallo out? Like, I want to say 20 seconds.
Yeah, it was quick.
So he's got power, and so he could put Barrio down, but Marc-Andre is the real deal. But this is a good matchup, and I look forward to it. I'm really happy for Chidi and Chikwani to be able to come in, and he's lived in Vegas for a long time.
Yeah.
He's never been in the UFC, so it's a good thing.
Yeah. Scroll down a little bit more there, Dave. Alexis Davis making her return again. She's be back, and
she's tough as hell, dude.
She is, man. She
is tough as hell.
She's been around for a while. She took that sabbatical for a while. I think she had a baby, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she went off. She had a baby. Now she's back. She had a couple. Hit on her name. How many? She's only been back for one fight. Is it one or two?
No. Because she beat Sabina Mazo.
Yeah.
After having the baby.
Alexis Davis.
Then she lost to God dang it, I can't remember. I want to say, is it Pani?
Yeah.
Did she lose to Pani? Okay.
Oh,
Kianzad?
Okay. Kianzad?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, there it is. So, but man, if you're in the cage with it, this is going to be tough because it doesn't look like she's that fast when she's fighting, but her ground game is stifled.
Yeah.
She is outstanding on the ground, and she will take shots to give shots. Within the first minute of this fight, her face is going to be all pink and red because it just
Poor
does.
girl.
She's one of those girls that she marks up, fast, but she just keeps coming, man.
Exactly.
She's tough.
It's funny when you have fighters like that. I feel bad for them. The ones that they just get it once or twice, and all of a sudden their face is red.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
like it just looks so bad, but they've only been hit once or twice. Where some people get hit the whole, like look at Benson Henderson. He gets hit, he gets crushed sometimes. Doesn't even look like he's got a mark on him.
I know.
Yeah, it's insane. All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap up our talk and conversation about the UFC that's coming up this weekend. It's the fight night, correct? Should be on ESPN Plus.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and what else?
I believe it is from the Apex Center.
Oh, it's the Apex.
Apex.
How many? When are they going to stop doing them there? Or are they going to be all the fight
Never.
nights? They're going to keep them there the whole time.
No. Yeah.
It's just saving them money.
Saving
We
them
can
money.
start on a story regarding that I do have for today's thing if you want. I was actually one of the last stories, but we may as well just go there since you guys are
Well, let's go.
All right.
So Dana White actually said that they're looking to enhance the fan experience at the Apex facility. So they're looking to include things like food and alcohol service, ticket booths, as well as a souvenir shop. So basically like a UFC arena, I guess.
Well, that's what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's only 13,000 square feet. I mean, I wonder how many people, and is it only going to be for like the top, notch people to come in and watch? I mean, the last couple of times, we've seen like Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly, we've seen Travis Barker, and certain top level celebrities have been invited to go there. Is it going to be like that, just only for the top level celebrities to go watch? I mean, they're whoever comes into town. Or
in the past, it's been fighters' families.
Yeah,
they can get tickets into it when the COVID thing was on.
Yeah.
Obviously, nobody could, but fighters' families have been able to go inside, and then, like you say, they have celebrities that want to come to, and they invite them to those, and they get seats there and stuff. But you could put in more seats in it and make it a little bit, to where you sold tickets and stuff like that. But this is, if you look at what they're doing with it, because this is part of their contract with ESPN, how many fights, as far as travel and everything, it's way cheaper for them. They're actually building the UFC hotel right there. So there's no money or cost basically for when the fighters come in and all that. it just is a very easy, low budget, quick. Everything's there for them.
Yeah.
It's done. Nothing's hard. They don't have to move things. So production wise, everything's just set up. Then they leave and they don't take anything down, and then they just walk back in. So there's no money for that. So it's a good thing for them.
Yeah, I mean, it really is going to cut the cost of whatever it is they're spending to move from venue to venue. You know, and just they have their home quarters for their fight nights, and then all the other pay-per-views will be done somewhere else, which they get paid on. So it doesn't matter what the cost is because they're getting paid for $500,000. They split whatever goes over $500,000. They split 50-50. So they're making a profit. They're making a pretty damn good profit, and this is going to be really cheap.
Think?
When they build that hotel, the fighters are like kind of like, if you think about it, right, they're used to staying in nice hotels when they go to Vegas, right? They stay in the nice hotel and they ship them over to this hotel will probably be nice, but
it'll be clean.
It'll be nice because it's brand new. But I mean,
that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Did you ever care? All I ever cared was, please just let it be clean. I don't want bugs in my bed.
Yeah.
That was all I cared about.
That's happened. That's happened a couple
of
times.
It has happened to me too. As long as my room is clean, just make my room clean. It can be small. I don't care.
But it's happened at a couple nice hotels for me too. Like I'm talking like 5-star hotels, and you get bed bugs, and like I've seen cockroaches in rooms. I'm like, oh my God. Like, anyways, great experience. It's like living in LAX. Fucking shithole. I swear.
You definitely have a love for LAX.
I freaking
baby.
hate LAX.
You love that place.
Well, no, the worst part about LAX, and I'm going to go on a little rant here, is you see people.
No,
you see people
hold
walking.
Stop. Hold on, really. Are you going to go on a rant?
You see people walking through, the LAX airport with their dogs, and I've seen people's dogs piss like on the carpet there, and I see people with their kids letting their kids lay down on the carpet. LAX is the most filthiest and dirtiest place I've ever been outside of Skid Row. I mean, the two of them are like hand in hand. It's disgusting. I can't believe when I see parents let their kids crawl on the floor at the LAX airport. I'm like, get your kid off the ground. What are you doing? Like, I see even when I see high school or college kids, they're traveling and they're stopping, they're laying down with their hat, they're like laying down with their backpack as a pillow. I don't know. I'm just like, God, I'd burn my clothes if I got home. Anyways, and the people are fucking rude, and everyone has their dog, like their cuddle dogs. What are they called? Their
service dogs.
Service dogs. I'm like, come on. Not all you guys need this. You guys do it for the whatever. It's like a trend to carry their dogs around.
It's so easy to do that though.
I know.
I went to a firework thing in San Jose one night, and the guy told me my dog couldn't come in, and I was like, "Oh, it's my service dog," and he's like, "Do you have paperwork?" And I was like, "No, it's for anxiety," and he's like, "All right, on you go," and didn't even question it.
I don't question that shit.
See, because it's people like you just breaking the rules podcasting.
I mean, I've seen people's dogs shit and piss in the LAX and the other airports as well. But I mean, like the LAX there's a lot of areas that have carpet, and I'm like, what the ugh.
Okay, how is it you've seen other people's dogs do? I've never seen a dog in an airport pissing shit.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh my God.
I've seen areas for them to go to the bathroom.
Have you never just paid attention? Oh yeah, that's like one of the biggest.
No, I don't.
One of my biggest pet peeves when I see someone with a dog. I'm like,
no pun intended.
Keep your dog out of the restaurant. Keep your dog if you have a dog, you shouldn't be in the restaurant. People are eating food. It's disgusting. Like my lab's not allowed in my kitchen. I have a lab, and I'm like, I don't allow him in my kitchen. That's where I make my food. I don't want the dog in my kitchen. No way, man.
And that's why they call that pet peeve, Josh.
Yeah, it is a pet peeve. Yeah, it is.
Boy, I'll tell you.
Oh, it is. It drives me nuts, man. And I love dogs, but there's certain things that just no.
Oh, we could tell.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Peter's going to be calling you to be a poster boy for him.
Rant's over. Moving on. Next thing, Dave.
All right, so the UFC has booked for their May card Holm versus Ketlen Vieira, and it appears, so I'm looking at this other fight, which it says it's Gus versus Alexander Gustafsson versus Ben Rothwell. But Ben's at heavyweight, and so is
Gustafsson.
Well, yeah,
he's been a heavyweight.
I did not have that piece of info.
Yeah.
That's a nice picture of him. Where that picture right there, Josh? You can see of Gustafsson.
Yep.
Where is he at?
He's at the LA Forum.
That away.
Yeah.
See, that tunnel is famous.
It's in Inglewood, California.
Yeah, it's a good place.
Inglewood.
So we got Holly Holm versus Ketlen Vieira, and then Gus versus Rothwell.
All right. So who's the main event? Is it Holly Holm?
Those are the only 2 fights. Yeah, and this looks to be the
So no title fight.
no title fight.
Ooh. Better be stacked the rest of the card.
Well, it's not a pay-per-view.
No, I
it's not a
understand that.
pay-per-view,
But,
it's
I mean,
just
like,
a
still, you're gonna have
fight
to
night.
stack it a little bit. Gus coming back, that's gonna definitely help. I enjoy watching him fight. I wonder if he's in a better place, mentally. It felt like he probably misses it. Wants to get back in there a little bit, like we talked about with Rashad Evans. Rashad being away, just feeling better about being in a better place mentally in terms of, okay, look, I've had a couple, months or years away from the sport, and I'm able to refocus, get back in and energize and feel good about training, feel good like this is fun again. And, and go out there and get it done. So Gus is what, 34, 33, 34?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got plenty of miles still left. He can do another 2-3 years easily, especially
at
at heavyweight.
heavyweight.
If he gets back into a little bit of that wrestling too, like if he shows the wrestling pedigree that he showed against John Jones when they fought, I think there's a good chance. I mean, he took John down.
Oh, yes, he did that first round.
Yeah, and so like if you look at if he's able to take someone like Ngannou down, or if he's able to take Cyril down, okay,
Cyril or Cyril.
I don't think I don't know if the other one of those guys will be able to get up from underneath him. With his body type and and his ability to stay from the top position, I think he's gonna be good, man. I think I'm looking forward to him making another run, maybe even 2. He might be able to have 2 good runs in him. So good for him, especially at heavyweight. I'm pumped for that. As for Holly Holmes, I just like watching her fight, man. She's grown on me a lot over the years. So she's talented. She's good. Now, someone said something in the comments. This is why I read the comments, John. Excuse me.
Tell me, what did they say in the comments? Since I don't.
Well, since you and I were talking about how fighters shouldn't do multiple sports when it comes to the combat sports, they shouldn't try and do boxing and MMA, and someone thought they would chime in and say, yeah, but Holly Holm was a world-class kickboxer and a world-class boxer. I said, yeah, but she did all 3 of them at a different time.
She wasn't a world-class kickboxer. She was a world-class boxer. She did kickbox, but she never won a world championship kickboxing, did she?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
But she was a world champion boxer, but she gave up boxing to be MMA because you can't do all of them at once and be good at all of them.
Yeah, I just wanted to point that out because that was...
You could be good at them, but you can't be great at them and be champion. That's the difference.
You have to...
There's just too much.
This sport is about dedicating your time. It's to one thing, because it's the hurt business. You don't have time to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You can't have 1 foot in boxing and 1 foot in MMA. It doesn't work that way. They are completely different. That's why you see a lot of these MMA guys going to boxing and getting their asses kicked, because
the stance is different. Everything is different. See this, and this is my point when I say, look, you can't be great at all of these different aspects of fighting, because there's time that needs to be committed towards training and being someone that's learning techniques and honing those techniques so they become second nature in the fight, and you can do them and they can function correctly and, be pulled off with some semblance of, hey, that's a good technique for you. If you are a boxer, you have 2 tools, left hand, right hand. Okay, now your footwork and everything is all part of it. Your body is part of it. But all of your training offensively is on that left hand and that right hand. Mm-hmm. So you're throwing a left hook how many times? You're throwing a right cross. You're throwing uppercuts. You're throwing a jab. All of these punches, they are throwing thousands upon thousands upon thousands of times. That's it. You know how much takedown defense a boxer does, right? 0. Why? Because he can't get taken down.
He does a lot.
It's not something he has to worry about. But an MMA fighter has to take the time to work on the wrestling, and he has to take the time to work on the submission game. And this is where, to sit there and think that an MMA fighter is going to be as good in a stand-up battle with just their hands, can't. They don't spend enough time. And See, this is why I don't read comments.
Nah. No, but I just wanted to point that out. I want to make sure that we went over it again for everyone in the comments. You know, there was a couple people saying, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Holm did it and somebody else did it. And I was like, no. They
Dave,
separated
I saw
them.
you looking. Did Holm ever win a kickboxing world title?
No, there's nothing said about it. It says that she...
You know why there's nothing said about it?
Didn't happen.
Thank you.
And it looks like she only did 3 fights and lost 1 anyway, so it doesn't surprise me.
Got it.
All right.
Next.
Let's hop into the next one. Kamaru Usman versus Israel Adesanya. Ali would like to see it.
Well, now I want to thank one of our biggest sponsors, mybookie.ag. If you guys use our promo code weighing in, they'll give you a little extra spending cash for mybookie.ag. The little code that's right there, the QR code, if you hit that QR code, it'll take you to mybookie.ag and use our promo code weighing in. Look, the Super Bowl's coming up, John.
Yeah, baby!
The Rams,
Who
they made
dey?
it over the Niners
Rams
and the
and
Bengals.
Bengals.
The Cincinnati Bengals beat my Chiefs. I'm heartbroken, disturbed, upset because the Chiefs are the best at coming back. We're also the best at losing the lead. That's what happened. But look, go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in. You've got fights that are coming up that we just talked about. You've also got some future fights that are coming up with Bellator. You've got the Super Bowl coming up. There's big-time betting lines on there as well. You've got all different types of betting lines for that. So go to mybookie.ag. Use that promo code weighing in. I want to thank you guys for supporting us, and hopefully you guys can win some money.
He's quoted as saying,
Because Ali is not in the fight.
I don't think they're best friends.
But both of those are his guys. No.
Izzy,
in fact,
Izzy's not with him.
No, Izzy's not. Izzy's with Paradigm
Yes.
Sports, and Kamaru is with Dominance. Yeah. No wonder he says he wants to see it. He wants to. He's awesome, dude. That dude is a shit stirrer.
Here's the thing, though, John. I want to see it.
Well, I think this is coming out because Kamaru. Look, both guys their origins come from Nigeria. Okay, that's great. And so they have a friendship based upon, that. They're both world champions in the UFC as far as their respective weights. They're only one weight, apart, welterweight to middleweight. Makes sense. But Kamaru came out talking about he thought that he matched up better if Blachowicz was still the champion, that he would have matched up better, and he was actually thinking of going up the 2 weight classes to take on Blachowicz because he didn't want to fight Izzy. He's a friend, and he would take on Blachowicz. That was the talk. I'm not saying it's a good idea. Okay? I'm not saying I agree with him. But when people start putting this P4P next to your name, you start to believe it until those pounds start to add up in a fight. But
look, I underestimated Usman for a long time. I ain't about to underestimate him again. But 205 is a big chunk of change because Blachowicz is going to come in around 225.
That's only a 35-pound difference from where you normally fight. Yep. And Blachowicz is going to go up another 30 pounds.
Yeah, he's going to go up, I'd say, 225, 230 by the time he gets in the cage. Yep, he'll be up around that weight. I mean, I want people to understand that Rockhold, right? He'd weigh in at 185, and by fight time, he'd weigh 202. 202, 203, somewhere in there. I mean, some of these guys put on a ton more weight.
Paulo Costa weighed in at 185, and the night of the fight, he weighed 228.
Jeez.
228, Josh.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
That's insane. Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I look at Usman, and I think guys like Izzy are kind of tailor-made for him to lose to. When it comes down to it, I think I'm gonna take the wrestler over the striker almost every single time, especially the level of wrestler that Usman is, and the fact that he's gotten better with his jab and his boxing. I'm not saying he's gonna stand at all, but I'm saying he's gonna need that stand up to close that distance and get in deep on the legs. And if he's able to utilize whatever stand up he has now, and he'll get better between the time of them talking about the fight and him fighting, he'll get better at that. It'll be a lot harder to teach Izzy how to stop the chain wrestling of Usman in that amount of time. So, because Usman's just going to throw that jab, stick that right hand down the pipe, and then close the distance and get in on the legs and just chain wrestle the shit out of him. Now, he may be able to stop 1 or 2, but can he stop the tenacity of Usman for 5 rounds hard? I mean, I don't know. But every time I've seen him do an interview, he is so about the Nigerians and their success, and I don't see him fighting him. I don't see him fighting.
I don't either.
And so I mean, this could all be for nothing, us talking about it. But if I'm going to see him fight, I would rather see him fight Izzy because it's closer to his weight, you know. And I think it makes for a lot more interesting of a fight because of the style matchup. This is like throwback style. You have a straight kickboxer, you know, who's got some good takedown defense. He's tall, long, and lanky for the weight, and Usman being the pedigree of wrestling he has and the ability to knock people out as well as march them down, walk them down, and out-wrestle them. It's a stylistic matchup that I would love to see.
Yeah.
Next.
I just, it's a nice thought to say, well, I match up better with Blachowicz and his style, but you don't match up better with Blachowicz and his size and strength and everything.
No, because if he touches your chin, we'll be waking you up in a week or so.
They talk about Polish power, baby. Look, he can smack.
Yeah.
You know?
All right, next.
All right, let's get into this next one. Paul Daley says that he has a fight on May 13th with Bellator, and that he plans on retiring after that fight, but we don't have an opponent, so I'm not sure what exactly is going on, but it will be in London.
I mean, May is so far away. We've got plenty of time to get him, you know, in the works in the talk. So maybe they threw out a couple names for him to see who the retirement fight would be, and they haven't signed a contract yet, but John and I, John especially, like we've had conversations with people. We didn't the opponent hasn't been picked, and we don't know who it is. So, I mean, if they do choose someone, we should probably find out here probably in the next, I'd say, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, because we're in February, so March, April, May. I mean, still got plenty of time. Plenty of time.
The real thing is this: if Paul Daley is going to retire, that's awesome. If you want to talk about a guy that has put on some classic fights, though, Paul Daley is one of those guys. Paul Daley has had some absolute barn burner fights, some incredible, you know, both that he's won and lost. But I mean, he always, you know, for the most part, he's had some that you look at and you go, yeah, that wasn't good. His fight against John Fitch wasn't good. You know, his fight against another one of your teammates you were just talking about, Josh Koscheck, wasn't good. But then he's had ones that were just absolutely unbelievable. You know, his fight against Brendan Ward, who is making a comeback at the next Bellator fight, which is awesome if you know Brendan's story. Glad to see him back, but he had just an incredible performance against Brendan Ward. Beautiful flying knee knockout that was just unbelievable. His loss to Nick Diaz, still one of the best rounds there is in MMA. And then he had that fight that I actually thought was one of the fights of the year against, you know, Sabah Homasi. Yeah. What a comeback, because he was rocked. He was hurt. It was only the second time in his career that I really saw him rocked.
He got dropped in that fight.
Oh, yeah, dude. And, you know, he came back, and he's a stud. So,
yeah, he's got plenty left in the tank, John. I mean, he could keep fighting. I mean, I know most fighters at that age, they're just like, they start detaching.
You start losing the will.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like you just get in there, you're like, man, I don't want to be here today hitting mitts, hitting the bag. Like, screw this place. That's what they're thinking.
You know, it's what the funny part is, Josh, it's hard for people to understand. But, you know, look, as we get older, we change. You know, and I'm the first person to raise my hands. Dude, I've changed so much.
Yeah.
You know, I used to be a fucking rock-headed, you know, nasty piece of shit. Yeah. And I'm nothing like I used to be because I don't want to be that person. And this is what happens, you know, when you fight, sometimes, you know, you have things, you know, in the back of your, you know, head that, you know, you want to, you know, you enjoyed, you know, doing damage to people and stuff. Then as you live life and you have a family, those things can change, and they change you and they change your mentality towards fighting. So, you know, Paul has had it, like I said, an incredible career. He's got, you know, big wins against big names. Like, you know, remember he beat Masvidal.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just damn good. And so if this is his last fight, I will love watching it. I just wonder who they're going to put against him.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like, I hope it's someone that stands, not just tries to take him down.
Yeah, I think it should be Sabah Homasi coming off of the win that he just had. And since that was such a good one the first time, I'd like to see it. I don't know if Paul would want to do it again, but
I mean, well, you know, another guy I think that might be a good fight would be Oliver Enkamp. That might be a fun fight.
That would be fun,
you know.
But Oliver would end up trying to take Paul.
Yeah, possibly. I just don't know if Oliver would have it. I don't know if he has. Paul's real good at the takedown defense. He's gotten so good at it. I know.
After all these years?
Yeah, I know he didn't have a lot of success against Costa and Fitch, but if you guys go back and look at Costa and Fitch, I mean, the tenacity they have in terms of their wrestling. Kostrik's wrestling level is just leaps and bounds above a lot of people. And then John, he just won't be denied. He's the guy that will chase you around on his hands and knees till he gets your ankle and just drags you to the ground.
And bites it. Yeah. Bites you to death.
Exactly. All right. Well, all right. What else you got?
All right. This next one. We are hearing from the undefeated Chael Sonnen that Henry Cejudo is back in the USADA testing pool. And, he's saying that we should be glad we're getting him back. So what does this mean for as far as a fight?
I mean, it kind of means that there maybe has been some conversation and talk between Ali and Dana about potentially bringing Henry back and maybe upping the number a little bit on what it takes him to pay him. And then, making him happy. If they can do something to make him happy, from what I understand, Dana wants to see him fight at 135 first. And then if he's able to win the title again, which I think is honestly, is to be fair, it's fair. I would love to see him fight Peter Yan or Piotr Yan, whatever.
I think it's a phenomenal matchup.
Absolutely. And Jan's not a huge guy for the weight class. So it makes, when you look at Marlon Moraes compared to Peter Yan, Marlon Moraes was a lot bigger, And so when he fought Marlon Moraes, gassed him out, with wearing him out with his punches in his face. But it was like he still went out there and had a great, it's true, John. He was getting pieced up in that first round.
In the first round, you're absolutely right. But look at what happened in the second.
And then Henry came out and said, all right, motherfucker, I'm going to get you. And just walked him down. Threw down on the mouth, bit down on the mouthpiece and just threw down. Absolutely. Yep. I still honestly believe that was one of the best performances ever that I've ever seen. Because that first round was not going his way. It's like I kind of put it right up there with the Frankie Edgar and Gray Maynard fight. I mean, obviously Frankie took a lot more damage. Not quite that bad. But it was still one of those type of fights where he had to go back after the first round and go, shit, what have I done?
I got to change something or I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I bit off. Did I bite off more than I can chew, or am I going to fix this? And he went out there and fixed it, and damn, he looked good.
He did.
He looked phenomenal. Yeah. And so I look at him and I think to myself, him and Peter Yan would be a barn burner of a fight. And if it gets to that point where the two of them fight, I can't see him not. I mean, I can't see it not being a great, in terms of pay-per-view money. I can't see him not selling. I mean, if Peter Yan beats Aljo, which I believe he will. Maybe you don't, but I do. I think Peter Yan's going to beat him. And then you're going to see, I think, Henry fight maybe, get a win against somebody. I think you could potentially see him fight Corey Sandhagen first. And that fight to me.
Boy, that would be a contrast.
Yeah.
You're talking, here would be Corey and here would be Henry.
But when it comes down to it, though, let me tell you, or if you have him fight Dillashaw again at 135. But I'd rather see the Corey fight.
I'd like to see the Corey fight, but you're asking a lot for Corey to be able to stop Henry's takedowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. For 5 rounds.
Long legs
I'm sure it'd be a main event.
Ooh.
So for 5 rounds, you think you could do it? I don't know.
Nope.
But that's a tough fight for him to come back to after being away for 2 years.
Yeah, it would.
2 years away. Trying to get back into the speed.
Corey Sandhagen's a monster at 135.
He's one of my favorites, man, to watch. He is.
Oh, I love watching him.
He's a nice kid. He seems very nice. All the interviews I've ever watched him in, he seems like a very respectful and nice kid. I love being around those kind of kids, man. Like when you see them, you talk to them, and I love it. I love their energy and just, and that type of personality. I love it. But, in terms of Chael, what he said, there's some truth behind it because we were just saying he was hanging out with Henry at the Eagle FC, which is I
wish I had seen this, before Dave brought it up because I did not see it because I talked to Henry in Arizona. Hey, you back in the pool?
Yeah.
So I actually put a text out to him right now, but I haven't got anything back.
All right. Well, hey, if he is back in, we're all blessed.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm being selfish, but I'm happy for it.
Totally selfish, but I don't care.
All right, next.
All right. I wanted to get your guys' reaction to this video. It was quite an intense moment from this past weekend at Bellator. I don't know if you guys saw it. You guys were there live, so don't know if you guys were. Josh, you were at the desk. John's at the commentary booth. But Khabib during the Usman fight. Had this.
That's with the other Usman. No, it was with Islam fight. Sorry, that's Usman on the left there.
Yeah. That's Usman to the
left.
Yeah, left of Khabib.
So Khabib and Usman react to Islam in the guillotine from Benson Henderson, and here I'll play this video for you.
So those of you guys that are, in the audio platforms, what it is that Islam is in a very, very tight guillotine by Benson Henderson.
It's deep, but he doesn't have his legs engaged enough.
Yeah, not enough. There was moments though where he had the top leg thrown over. Yep. He had positions. They adjusted so many times, and it was in deep. You could see Islam's face from the monitor that he was struggling there quite a bit for some time. And what you see is Usman Nurmagomedov and you see Khabib, the two of them. Basically just kind of put their hands by their heads and just, it seems like it looks like they're praying, like they're, and so it looks like that, and focusing on just, asking, to see if he can get out of the submission. And it seemed like it, obviously it worked. So it worked. He came up, he came up short in terms of the split decision, but it was a close fight, John. And it's so funny in the comments that I read, because I read the comments like we've talked about.
Okay.
Everyone continues to say that Islam got robbed and this and that, and I was like, look, when it's that close of a fight,
there was no
robbery. It's not. You can't call it a robbery because the guy lost that you wanted to win. All right, it just comes down to the fact that like here, I go back and I watch the Gilbert Melendez fight with Benson. I go back and watch my fight with Benson. It wasn't a robbery. Just lost a split decision. Call it what it is. It's not a robbery. Do I feel like I won? Absolutely, I feel like I won. But I'm also very biased when it comes to me. You know what I mean? So, and in this situation, like I'm friends with Islam. I fought Benson. I'm friends with him as well. Training partners with Islam. But it comes down to like when it's that close, you can't call it a robbery. I looked at the Bader fight again. I went back and watched the Bader and Moldavsky fight. It was a close fight. And I could see how judges both went the opposite way. One gave it to Bader, one gave it to Moldavsky. I could see that. So did they? I thought
no,
you're right. No, sorry, you're right. It was unanimous. They all had it the same. 48,
unanimous
47,
on that one. All 48, 47.
Sorry, but then in this fight, I could see how they gave it to they split directions. I could see how they did that.
Look, I have to score the fights for the broadcast, and I gave it to Mamedov, but I said, look, it's really close, but I believe that Mamedov is the guy. If you're going to look at what was occurring at the end, and he was able to, at the very end, Benson was looking for a heel hook, and Mamedov was in a position where he wasn't really in danger, and he was landing some strikes. I'm going to give it to Mamedov. My son was actually one of the judges for the fight. He gave it to Mamedov, and the other two gave it to Benson Henderson. But I don't complain about that at all. It's because it was close, and it's really about what you're seeing and from the angle you're seeing it at. And this is where I look and I say, look, if you're a fighter and you're going to complain about that you got robbed, you didn't get robbed, man. I'm sorry. Either way, that's one that it's close. And if you're that close with somebody in the fight, a judge can look at it either way.
Yeah. Nothing but respect for both fighters. Islam fought a very tough fight. That first round was close because of not close, but the submission was really close in that first round. The second round, he dominated the whole round. I had him dominating, like he got the back. He was controlling. He was very controlling, did a lot of good things. It really came down to that third round. And it kind of came down to how you scored that last little portion where Mamedov landed two really hard shots from the top position while Benson was hanging out on the leg trying to go for leg lock after leg lock, but he was also striking from the bottom. They just didn't have the same effect from the bottom to the top. But in the beginning portion of that round, for 2.5 minutes or 2 minutes of it, whatever, Benson was landing the better shots on the feet.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of ways of of looking at it, and but
there was.
It was a close fight, but in no way was it a robbery. No way. All right, Dave, what else?
All right, the next one I wanted to show you was this video of Kevin Holland, where
I love this one. God bless Kevin Holland.
Kevin Holland posted screenshots of DMs he was getting from this guy who basically saying Kevin, stop.
Jaden Draper.
And so this guy's in Kevin's DMs and he says, all I got to say is, even though you're a black belt, I'm positive I could submit you, prove me wrong. And then he follows up a month later, stop ducking me. Then a month later, still ducking me, pissy ass. And then Kevin,
this is great.
Kevin posts a screenshot and says, one troll down, way too many more to go. How it started versus how it ended. And then he posts the video to accompany it. And the video is, let me play it for you, Kevin and this guy rolling.
This is great. Just jiu-jitsu, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just jits, just a roll.
This
Guy
is great.
Goes for the leg and the takedown. Nice sprawl by Kevin Holland. Takes the underhook on the backside of the arm. Slides to the side. Oh, look at the dog.
Damn.
His arm triangle choke. Turn over. Oh, no, I would just turn out. You know, to that dude, all of his friends, when he's watching fights, he goes, dude, all I would do is just turn out of that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Kevin just flung him down with the whizzer.
Dude, Kevin ragdoll and made him look like his bitch. Let's be honest.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
She's still ducking me, pussy ass. Well, guess not.
Oh, man. It was great. This is the type of shit we get all the time, John. Do you ever get shit like this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, man. There was a guy that did this with Josh Koscheck, and Josh Koscheck pushed the video out too. The guy came, Josh told him, you know where to find me. You're here, like whatever, I'm here. And the kid walked into the gym, and Josh put it on him. But I mean, Josh was being very, and the guy tried to quit, and Josh's like, no, you're not quitting. Get in
I've
here.
had the same. Oh, yeah. No.
No.
After one time, okay. No. You could do much better.
Of course,
Come on.
come back in here. Let's go, buddy.
When I owned a gym, I had the same thing. One of my best ones, anyway, it had nothing to do with him fighting me. A guy comes in, right, and this dude's hands were so jacked up. His knuckles, he had destroyed them from, he says, I hit steel, right? And his knuckles are just giant and just mangled. And I go, you're hitting steel? He says, and I have a boxing ring right there. He's got, giant, 4x4 metal post. He goes, I could break through that post right there. I said, go ahead. He goes, I don't want to, destroy your boxing ring. I said, oh no, please. I said, I give you permission. Go ahead. I want to see. Go ahead and break it. Yeah. If you can break it, I want to see it. Right? He goes, I don't want. I said, yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what people do though. You just you go, stop. There's so many phonies.
Yeah, I could.
And for all the internet warriors out there, you're tough guys. Yeah, I believe you. You are.
John, I feel like you and I really need to bring back that show that you did. The show that you were on.
Oh, dude, I love that show.
What was it called?
Bully Beatdown.
Got to bring that back.
I love that show. Oh, it was great.
We would have a good time on that.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
So many. Oh, dude.
I think we need to do it.
There was so many guys that talked so much shit before that show. It was like, yep, yeah, you're tough.
What was the best moment you ever had on that show in terms of someone talking trash?
There was probably two, and it was the talking trash one was one, and it is you can talk to Jake Shields and I. We went out to dinner with my wife, and we go to this teppanyaki place. Right, and we walk in, and they're gonna seat us down. Well, at the time, Tap Out was sponsoring the show and everything, so they would put the tough guys and the fighters in different hotels and stuff like that or whatever. But if you went out on the town, you could end up in the same restaurant. Well, they're gonna sit us down at this station, this teppanyaki station, with these guys, all decked out in fucking Tap Out gear. So I was like, well, guess who the fuck they are?
Yeah, right?
So we sit down, right? And the three of us sit down, and and these guys are like, oh my God, John McCarthy, Jake Shields, we're here. I'm here to fight, right? And I go, I kind of figured that was what you're wearing there. He's got the hats, the shirts, everything on. And the guy said, he goes, I'm being honest. He says, he says, I live right by your gym. He goes, I'm doing this to pay for my membership at your gym. I go, you're doing this to pay? He goes, absolutely. He goes, let me tell you something. He goes, people have no idea how strong I am. As soon as he said that, I was like, oh shit, here it comes. And he goes, what would you say if I throw my opponent, the fighter, out of the cage? I said, I'll tell you what, if you throw your fighter out of the cage, I will give you a lifetime membership in my gym.
Oh man.
Right? He goes, done. It's done. I guarantee it's gonna happen, right? He goes, the only thing the only guys that I wouldn't want to see is, I don't want to have like an Andre Arlovsky because of his stand-up. And the guy he was going to fight was Andre Arlovsky. He had no idea. So when Andre Arlovsky, when it finally came to the point and Andre Arlovsky gets called out, this guy's face goes, he never even made it to the fucking kickboxing part. He was done after the grappling, right? The only thing that he threw out over the top of the fucking cage was his lunch. He was throwing up and stuff, but those guys were so funny. There were times where guys would actually, they would slip in there. They could fight. There were guys that actually trained, and there was this one guy that comes in there and he looked familiar to me, and I'm looking at him, right, and I knew his brother. His brother was an MMA fighter, had about a 5-1 record, pretty good, and I knew that he trained at Marco Huis's down in Laguna Niguel, and so he was set up to fight someone. So I go to the producer of the show, and I tell him, hey man, you're gonna want to switch this. I said you need to put this kid against. I had Eddie Alvarez there. Mm-hmm. I said you need to put him against Eddie. I said who he's going against, that kid, it's you guys are worried about people getting hurt. That's going to be a harder fight. That guy's going to try harder. Eddie's going to toy with him, right? So they switched it. Right? So this guy he's out there and he's ready, and they called out Eddie Alvarez, and he had that look like, motherfucker. And so at the end of it, after it was all over, he didn't get a dime. He got toasted by Eddie, right? Eddie toyed with him. And at the end, they would have these guys sign. They had these lockers that they would put their stuff into. And so they got to sign the locker at the end of it. This guy goes, he says, I come here thinking I'm going to get $10,000, and you give me Eddie fucking Alvarez. Thanks a lot. And he signed his name.
I love it. What happened? Okay, so I never saw the one with Thomas Denny, but someone said he lost. I don't know how.
He didn't lose,
okay.
but the guy got all the money. He didn't get any submission.
That's losing, John.
Because
that's losing, John.
Okay, hold on. I can't remember the guy's brother's name, but the kid was a Russian guy, and the problem was, this is when it started. I'm gonna get myself in trouble here, but it started, and it was people need to remember that there was Elite XC, mm-hmm. and Elite XC had bought up a bunch of different promotions. They bought up Rumble on the Rock. They bought out King of the Cage. Mm-hmm. And different ones like that. Well, they also had this. They were the ones that owned the rights to this, show of Bully Beatdown. And then Elite XC folds. Yeah, they fold and they end up going under, and Strikeforce takes it over. So Terry Treblecock gets King of the Cage back from the Elite XC deal, and he's the one that has the contract with Bully Beatdown. So he starts feeding all of his fighters into it, and the guy who is one of the executive producers, he pulls me. He says, what do you think of our fighters? I go, they're not real good. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, Terry tells me that. I said, dude, look, you've got B level at best. Most of your fighters are C and D level fighters. I said, they're just not very good. And he goes, are you sure? I go, yeah, I'm fucking sure. I'm sorry. He had some good ones, but and then what they would do is, like with Thomas Denny, Thomas Denny was a decent fighter, but Thomas Denny fought at 155 pounds, 145 pounds. The kid that they put him against was 200 pounds. His brother was a professional fighter. And so the kid, stand-up wise, could fight. Submission wise, he was strong enough to be able to stop the submissions that Thomas Denny was putting on. So when Thomas didn't submit him at all, the guy won the $5,000 there, and then he was putting it on Thomas in the stand-up. He didn't get rid of him, but yeah, so Thomas couldn't get rid of him, so he got that guy got the $10,000. I guess you could say he won.
I was supposed to fight Thomas Denny a couple times. I want to say it was scheduled for like 2 or 3 times. I think one time was King of the Cage, and then the fight fell through because the UFC. I was working with the UFC at the time, and they weren't keeping me busy enough. So every time I fought outside the UFC or was gonna fight outside the UFC, they seemed to give me a fight when they're like, no, you don't go over there. We'll fight you. So there, So that, and then I think it was also, what was it? Oh, remember Ultimate Athlete? Him and I were supposed to fight.
Oh, yeah.
Him and I were supposed to fight in that also. And then that fell through. So yeah, because they fell off the they fell.
Yeah,
they're
they fell off
gone
the-
after
they fell
the
off
whole
the
Palm
earth.
Springs thing. Remember in Palm Springs?
Yeah, well, after the riot,
the biker gang
the
riot,
biker riot,
the
that was
Mongols
it.
and another gang. I don't know what it was, but it was the Mongols. I remember that. Anyway,
Well, that was the Mongols had a guy that was he was a patched member who was fighting, and he lost.
but then they started.
wasn't
Yeah,
good.
something happened in the front row. They started getting into it with somebody else, and
wasn't
then
good.
just someone
That
got
was in Palm
someone got
Springs.
stabbed. I want to say
Someone got
two
stabbed.
people got stabbed. I think.
Yep.
Not a good situation, but those days are behind us in this sport now. We're civilized sport. As
Oh,
you know.
they can come back. Do you remember when Renzo Gracie was fighting in Brazil and he got stabbed while he was in the cage?
Ugh.
He was fighting Eugenio Tadeu and he actually got stabbed through the cage.
No, John, I was 7 when that happened. Okay. Just
You might have been.
I'm letting you know, buddy. I'm old,
Might
but
have
I'm not
been.
that old. Oh man. All right. Anything else, Dave?
Yes, let's hop into one last story.
Okay.
So Paulo Costa came out and he basically is saying that he only wants to fight Marvin Vettori, and he's really like just seems bitter about the whole thing with the last fight, which I'm not sure why, because he came in overweight, but basically saying that he said, I'm not stupid enough to consider a title fight right now. He's like, I only want Marvin Vettori. If it's not Marvin Vettori, he said he told Dana White, don't give me a fight unless it's Marvin. And he said he hates him. He wants to end his life. He's an asshole. He's a fool. He wore his shorts backwards, but still thinks he's a man. And then he's not mad about the rankings. He just hates him because he's an asshole. So a lot of animosity.
What weight are they going to fight at though? Like if they're going to fight at 85, or are they going to fight at 205?
I was going to say, Vettori went up to 205 because he couldn't make weight. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't understand either. I mean, you got everything you wanted. You on short notice.
And I'm being honest.
Yeah.
If you watch the fight, Vettori won the fight.
Yeah, he won every round.
Well, I don't think I think
Maybe
Costa won it.
Costa won one round, but
Well, yeah.
Vettori won
Vettori
easily
won the fight. So I don't understand what the. I mean, I don't have a problem with Paulo saying I want a rematch.
No.
I want to get that one back.
Yeah.
I understand that, but to act like he was done wrong,
No.
I don't know.
I don't
know
get
how
that
you can say
though.
that.
I don't get the perspective of him. It doesn't by reading what he says. I'm not saying I want to fight Vettori because he took my place in the rankings. Like he just really wants to fight him because he's an asshole and he wants a rematch and a redo on it, which is fair. I get it. Like you don't like the guy now. Maybe you're a little bit more motivated to make the weight. At 185.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't really see much different of an outcome outside of you clipping him and knocking him out. That's a possibility because he does have a lot of power.
Possibility.
He's aggressive.
He does.
He also, I mean, are you if you fight at 85, I'd like to see that fight. I have no desire to watch it fight again at 205. I would like to see them both fight at 85.
Oh yeah.
It just, but I'm interested in the fight. I'm interested. I don't think it's fair for Vettori. He's dispatched him pretty easily the first time. So why should I go back and take a chance and fight you? If I'm Vettori, go fight somebody else that's ranked, above me, beat them, and then I'll go ahead and fight you again. That's the way I look at it. And you take it or leave it. You don't like it, then sit on the sideline. I don't give a shit. It's your career, not mine. I've done my part. I did my job. I made weight.
He did his. That's the whole thing.
made weight
Vettori
and
did
beat
everything.
Vettori's like, I trained hard. I made weight, and I beat you. What else was I supposed to do?
Yep.
I did everything that's in my contract that I needed to do. I fought hard and I won.
Yeah.
That's it.
The fact that you don't like me means nothing
it doesn't
to
mean
me.
shit to me. Doesn't affect my paycheck.
Nope.
Other than that, I mean, look, I would love to see the fight again, but I'd like to see it at 85 though, when they're both fit, they're both in shape, and and that's what the weight they normally fight at. So, all right, Dave, you got anything else?
That's going to wrap us for this week.
All right,
All right. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com/weighing in. We got our new shirts. John, show us everybody your shirt, buddy. Take a look. Those of you guys that are at home.
boy right there. Huh?
Yeah, it's pretty
Looking
dope.
good.
It comes in black and it comes in the it's like a heather gray because I got it now at home. So it's like a heather gray and it comes in a black one. The black one's pretty dope. I like the heather gray also.
I like the black.
Yeah, I like the heather gray.
I don't know why, but I like that.
Yeah, that's just the way you're built. What is it? Black is kind of figure flattering. That kind
Beautiful.
of, it kind of
Black is
hides the
beautiful.
curves a little bit more.
Well, I got lots of curves.
Yeah. So go ahead and pick up one of our shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/weighing in and use that promo code and still. Everyone knows and still. Make sure you guys use that.
Still.
And we want to thank you guys for continuing to support us. Go to our YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button there and the little bell because some of you guys got pretty heated in the comment section. We didn't launch on Sunday. We launched on Monday because of the traveling and all the other things. Well, let me tell you guys this. That shit's going to happen some more because the dates are coming up when we're traveling overseas. And we will not be back on Sunday. We'll be back probably Sunday night at midnight. And we'll film Monday and we'll drop Monday. So hit that bell, you guys. Hit that bell. That'll help you guys know when we drop our show. And then down below in our main channel, there is a link in that description there. And you guys can hit that link. And that will take you to our Weighing In Extras channel where we drop our Weighing Interjection show, which is specifically for that channel. Enjoy that. That is a fun show that we do that we're going to film right now, and that should drop sometime this week. If you guys hit the bell there, that'll let you know when that drops as well. See how this works? All right, guys. Dave, that was a little funny for Dave. Dave really liked that. All right, guys. Hey, we want to thank you guys. We do appreciate you guys. Try to keep it positive in the comment section because I read them, and my ego can't take much more of the negativity. And I love you guys. Love you guys. Big John, take us off, buddy.
And for everyone out there, hey, do something good for somebody else. Make their day special, and we will see ya.